Yikes. No, I'm liking this. This camera angle is much better than the previous one, so I think I want to keep it like this. Making this video with my dry foot then, which hopefully is not in the camera, because a few people have been coming at me on Snapchat of all platforms because of the remarks I made about George Floyd, Mayweather, wherever that username was, he got choked out. And it's a shame because maybe if they used the Boston Crab, it would have been a bit more symbolic of black folk just getting tamed and manhandled and domesticated. Maybe if they even put a collar release around them, it would have been as entertaining as the murder porn that's been going around, as one person remarked. Anyway, that's not why I'm making this quick video. This actually be a 5-minute one. Well, that's the aim, that's the goal. Even if my amazing stopwatch is over there, meaning I can't quite determine how long this will be. Irrespective, I wanted to offer some perspective to these current ramblings, to use a more, I guess it's relevant term, because there's been quite a bit of noise about this George Floyd guy, who for the most part probably wouldn't exist if he weren't on television or televised or some type of superstar celebrity. The Denzel principle, as it were, that we only recognize or acknowledge black males who are in these amazing, almost impossible positions that we can't attain. They're mythical creatures almost. So I think that's why George Floyd is even given some recognition. Otherwise there'd probably be another broke knicker, to quote the City Girls and their how to spot a broke knicker tutorial or workshop. I'm not sure what you want to call it, documentary even. So I just wanted to follow along that lines of thought from City Girls or Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B or patron saintesses of this current age or this present generation, and follow along the lines to challenge this narrative that George Floyd was a victim, when in fact, as we already know, George Floyd was a patriarch. We need to remember this. He was an evil man. He was a potential rapist, okay? He was a beneficiary of rape culture. A shining example of toxic masculinity, or of hegemonic masculinity. That's what George Floyd was, and we are forgetting this. We are forgetting he was probably subjecting women, black women even, to street harassment. All around, following them, maybe stalking them. We could pull up his social media, who's probably in someone's direct messages, whether on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook even. Send him dick pics even. Who knows what type of lewd activity or inappropriate behavior he was engaged in. Probably even speaking to minors. This is what black men do. And we are forgetting this because we are buying into this patriarchal, misogynistic propaganda, which is turning the sisterhood away from the real struggle, which is sexism, not racism or all these other distractions that people like Tommy J. Curry tend to propagate and purport. No, all this anti-blackness that Frank Wildersons of the world seem to suggest. No, that is not it. Nor this negrophobias, Fanon and these other West African Negroid patriarchs would espouse. The issue is sexism, and this needs to be the focus. We must still work and challenge toxic masculinity and patriarchy and male domination and male privilege. This George Floyd case is not about white privilege. This is about male privilege. Male privilege, it is the enemy. And of course there's some of you saying, well, if male privilege was the enemy, then why did George Floyd get choked out? Because he didn't want to exercise his male privilege. He felt so entitled as a male that he didn't feel the need to exercise his male privilege. And some of you are wondering, how are females the victim of this? Well, it's females who have been tricked and duped and conned by this current charade, by this absolute fiasco. That is why females again started a Black Lives Matter movement, both in the States and here. They are the think tanks, the masterminds behind this. It is their resources, their leadership, their organization which males are draining and using. So it's another example of females just at the mercy of males at their disposal as utilities, as objects for male pleasure and gratification. And females, are you going to buy into this? Are you going to let yourself be used by these evil men? And we say evil because all men are evil. This was not about black and white. This was about toxic masculinity turning in on itself. This is not about police officers choking out a black male. It's about one group of toxic males polluting, murdering, executing, so enamored in their patriarchy that it almost implodes. That death wish, that evil sickness, which usually females are the victims of. And again, we need to remember females are the victims here. They're the ones who have had to watch George Floyd being executed or assassinated. They're the ones who have been subjected to these images. Females are the victims. So again, here we see the psychological distress that is imposed upon females by these disgusting males. George Floyd, he's no exception. He was probably a pervert, he was probably a creep. He probably used to look at women, stare at them, leer even at their bodies and objectify and demean them and degrade them. He probably had no respect for women. He probably watched all these hip-hop videos, BET, MTV Base, you name it. I can guarantee he was there partaking in this misogynoir, in this anti-black female practice. George Floyd is not a victim here. Females are the victims. Males are the enemies. We can't buy into this narrative. We can't adopt their terms, their ideas, and be dominated by these hegemonic ideals which are anti-female. No. We must maintain perspective. Do not be conned. George Floyd is not a victim. As a matter of fact, all this is one less patriarchal male off the planet. One less potential rapist, one less beneficiary and or participant of rape culture is now gone, has now been dismissed. But as they say, they have got us to see good as bad. That's what men have done. They have turned the world, they have inverted it. So something we should be celebrating and cherishing, celebrating and valuing, has now been distorted to the point we're disgusted by it. This makes sense to us. Disgusting. I want to leave it there, but I think I've said my part. And we must remember, we are savages. We don't care about these men. If they can't do anything for us, then we shouldn't be listening to them. We need to remember our principles and values. We need to remember the code. The code. We do not owe men anything. Our time, our energy, our attention, our conversation, our bodies. We do not owe these men. Imagine if the woman just pulled out a black man's mouth. It would implode, it would collapse. Females are always the foundation, holding everything up. The invisible people. The ignored people. Thank you for taking this time, and hopefully we will catch you soon. Just as soon as we catch the murderers of all those black females who have been silenced and erased from all of this fear mongering.